Okay, so the last thing we have to cover for this lesson is finding our slope based on lines that we are given. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys is, if you really enjoy using your slope formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, then you can just look at these graphs here and look. They've given you 2 points. You got 1, 1, and you've got negative 1, 0. Okay? So, if you guys are solving these problems, you like using this slope, you got your 2 points, you're good to go. Okay? Easy peasy. The other way to do this is to remember that your slope is rise over run. Okay? And essentially what you can do is you can figure out how much does this slope rise and how much does this slope run. Remember, our run is left to right, our rise is up and down. Okay? Important things to remember. If you are moving up, that's going to give you a positive value. If you're moving down, that is going to give you a negative value. Okay? And that's for rise. Positive is up, negative is down. Okay? When I'm dealing with run, if I am moving to the right, that is my positive values. And if I'm moving to the left, those are my negative values. Okay? So, when I'm dealing with this, if you're going to use the rise over run method, you want to pick a starting point. I'm going to start at this point right here. And I'm basically going to make a triangle, a slope triangle, to get to the other point. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move up. And if I move up, I've got a positive 1. My next move then would be to go to the right. And I went to the right 2. So that was a positive 2. So for this situation, my rise was a positive 1. And my run was a positive 2. So therefore the slope of this line is 1/2. Now some of you guys might have been like, cool, I did a little bit differently. You could have also said you were going to go to the right 2 first. Positive 2. And then I went up 1. Positive 1. That would give you the exact same thing as the slope here. Some of you guys might have said, well, actually, I did it even different than that. I started with this point. I started with this point. And if I started with that point, I went down 1. So if I went down 1, that would be a negative 1. And then I went to the left 2. Oh, shoot. We had positive 1 and positive 2. Now I got negative 1, negative 2. So if I go to find the slope for this, using these other ones, I've got m equals, my rise was negative 1, over my run, which was negative 2. What's negative 1 over negative 2? Oh, well, 2 negatives make a positive. So that's 1/2. Hey, it doesn't matter. Okay? We still get the same answer. The slope of this line here, no matter which point you start with, no matter if you start with run and then you go with rise, as long as you plug it into this formula, your rise over run formula, you are going to get the correct answer. Okay? So 1/2 is our slope. Okay, got another example over here. I want you guys to pause the video on this one. I think you should feel fairly comfortable with this. Pause the video, draw your slope triangle, and tell me what that slope is. Okay? All right. I'm going to start with this point up here. The first thing I like to do is, rise comes first when I say rise over run. So I always start with my rise when I do it. You can start with your run, though. It doesn't matter. So my rise for this one is I'm going to go down 2. So since I'm down 2, I'm going to make that a negative 2. And then my run is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Over 9. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And that is to the right 9. So since that's to the right 9, I'm going to put a positive 9 there. Positive 9. So my rise was negative 2 because I was going down. My run was a positive 9 because I was going to the right. And I've got a negative 2 divided by a positive 9. Now remember on that last video I told you that decimals are okay. Remember, decimals are only okay when you are dealing with real-world situations. Right now, guys, we're just looking at a graph. We've got points. This isn't a real-world, this isn't a word problem. Okay? So for these, I want fractions. Okay? So I've got a negative 2 divided by 9. That's not going to give me anything nice. I need to reduce the fraction. There's really nothing to reduce. There's nothing in common with 2 and 9. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is a negative 2/9. And that is my slope. Okay? Some of you guys might have started with this point here, and you went up 2, and then you went to the left 9. So since I went to the left 9, that is a negative 9. So your guys's would have looked like positive 2 over negative 9. What's a positive 2 divided by a negative 9? That is negative 2/9. Still get the same answer. Okay? So negative 2/9 would be the slope of that line there. All right. And that's, oh wait, we got 2 more special types of slope. Sorry, forgot about these. 2 more special types of slope. Just like before, guys, I had told you guys about these ahead of time. We've got vertical lines. We've got horizontal lines. Okay, so here, might be kind of hard to see. Okay, this is our horizontal line. Okay, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. Okay? It is 0. If you don't remember that, you've got 2 points here, so you can always use y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. You can always use that formula to be sure. Your 2 points would be 1, 3, and it'd be negative 3, 3. Okay? But honestly, there's really not work to show on this. This is just something that you need to have memorized. Horizontal gives me a slope of 0. Okay? Versus my other line over here. Okay? This is an example of a vertical line. That's vertical. The slope of our vertical lines is undefined. Again, that's just something you need to have memorized. If you don't have it memorized, you can always plug it in. You've got the point negative 2, 1, and you've got the point negative 2, negative 3. Remember, if you do plug this in, negative 3 minus 1 over negative 2 minus negative 2, give me a negative 4 over 0. I cannot divide by 0, and since I can't divide by 0, that's why that's undefined. Okay, versus this example over here, if I plug this one in, you would get 3 minus 3 over 1 minus negative 3. That gives me a 0 over 4. 0 divided by 4, you can do that. That gives you 0, which is how we find that our slope is 0. Okay, so those are our 2 special cases of horizontal and our vertical lines. Okay, only thing that you guys have left is your stuff that I want you guys to practice on your own. Okay, we will check these when we get back to class. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please email or come in the mornings, ask for help.